The form of business you operate determines what taxes you must pay and how you pay them. All businesses except partnerships must file an annual income tax return. Partnerships file an information return. The form you use depends on how your business is organized. The federal income tax is a pay-as-you-go tax. You must pay the tax as you earn or receive income during the year. An employee usually has income taxes withheld from his or her pay. If you do not pay your taxes through withholding, or do not pay enough taxes that way, you might have to pay an estimated tax. The estimated tax is the tax that you must pay on income, including self-employment tax, by making regular payments of estimated taxes during the year. Self-employment taxes are a Social Security and Medicare tax primarily for individuals who work for themselves. Your payments of self-employment taxes contribute to your coverage under the Social Security system, which provides you with Medicare, retirement benefits, disability benefits, survivor benefits, and hospital insurance. Most small businesses need a combination of licenses and permits from both federal and state agencies. The requirements and fees vary based on your business activities, location, and government rules. The most common types of licenses and permits include a federal license or permit. You may need one or both of these if your business activities are regulated by a federal agency. Requirements and fees depend on your business activity and the agency issuing the license or permit. It's best to check with the issuing agency for details on the business license or permit cost. Business operating licenses are simply licenses to operate and may be required by the city or state. They're sometimes called general business licenses or business privilege licenses. If your state requires a general business license, you can likely apply online, but city or county licenses often have to be applied for in person. A modest fee is usually required. These licenses often require annual renewal, which requires an additional fee or tax. Industry-specific licenses may be required, depending on what your business does. Businesses involved in construction, childcare, plumbing, electrical, food and liquor, insurance, finance, landscaping, and architecture all generally require state licensing, for example. Licenses are also required at the state level for businesses involved in professions such as accounting firms, law firms, and medical providers. Sometimes licenses are required to sell specific goods, such as beauty and children's products. Some highly regulated industries require licensing from a federal agency, such as the FDA or the Department of Transportation. Generally, if your industry is federally regulated, you'll need some type of license or permit from the regulatory agency. If your business is agriculture-related, for instance, you likely need a license from the USDA. Most industry-specific licenses can be applied for online on the appropriate department's website and involve a fee. Zoning permits grant your business authorization to operate in a given area and are generally issued by counties and municipalities. Such permits usually give permission to use a certain plot of land or building for a specific business purpose. If you open a gas station, for instance, you'll need a zoning permit to use the land you purchase for that specific use. Be sure to check zoning requirements before you lease or purchase your business premises. Some municipalities have zoning restrictions and requirements for home-based businesses, so check local zoning laws before you launch your business. Commercial building permits verify that the building you're operating in is up to code. Home occupation permits, which some areas require, allow you to operate a business from home. If you make certain changes to the building you're operating in, you may be required to get a building permit before the work is done. The purpose of building permits is to ensure the safety of you, your employees, and your customers. Keep in mind that your municipality may do periodic inspections of your building to ensure that it stays up to code. DBA permits allow you to do business under a name that is different from your legally registered business name. DBA stands for doing business as. If your LLC name is Smith Enterprises, for instance, and you want to offer a new line of products as Smith's Sporting Goods, you would register a DBA as Smith's Sporting Goods. DBAs are usually registered with the state or at the local level. Operating a business under a name that's not your legal business name without registering a DBA can result in fines, penalties, and even the closure of your business. Be sure to check your state and local requirements. Sales tax permits allow you to sell certain products and services and collect sales tax. Most states have a sales tax and many localities usually impose a sales tax as well, so you may need to register for a sales tax permit at the local level. Every state defines taxable goods and services differently, so be sure to find out if what you offer is subject to sales tax. State sales tax permits can generally be applied for online, but at the local level you'll often need to apply in person. Health licenses and permits are required for certain businesses based on industry, and you will be required to maintain health and safety standards. Environmental permits are also required for certain industries in some locations. For example, specific licenses are required for restaurants or other businesses that involve food handling. These licenses may be issued at the state and/or local levels. Health and environmental licenses and permits generally require inspection of your premises and must be regularly renewed, usually annually. Fire permits certify that your business is up to fire safety codes. Depending on your location, this may be required, while in some areas it's required only if you work with flammable materials. This may also be required if you conduct activities that could present a fire hazard. Fire permits are issued at the state and local levels and will likely require an inspection. Sign permits may be required for your location if it has rules about sign size and location. There are also rules regarding the days and times that temporary signage can be displayed. These are common rules and are generally issued at the local level. If you want to install or change your existing business sign, you may need a permit to do so. Now let's take a look at trademarks. These symbols are the cornerstone of a business's identity, and successfully registering them for your organization's products or services is a cause for celebration. This practice is vital for defending logos, symbols, names, slogans, and many other branding elements from imitation or unauthorized use. Distinctive, highly recognizable trademarks can do much more than signal your brand to consumers, though this is their legal purpose. They are able to communicate a business's philosophy and create a valuable emotional connection with the public. The protection status provided by having your products or services trademarked is indispensable. There are 4 commonly used ways to denote trademarked intellectual property. The copyright symbol consists of the letter C, surrounded by a circle, and is used on books, websites, most packaged goods, including foods, medicine, and more. While the copyright symbol is often in very small print and tucked away on a corner, the use of a copyright symbol is specifically and strategically placed to get you to notice it. The letter R, surrounded by a circle, is the most valuable trademark symbol, as it confirms a mark's registration with an intellectual property office. The letters TM, surrounded by a circle, indicate a logo, symbol, product name, business name, slogan, or other eligible piece of intellectual property that is used in commerce as a trademark. It is usually associated with a mark that is not registered at the national or regional intellectual property office of the territory where it appears. Legally, it signals that the user is attempting to claim intellectual property rights to a given branding element. The letters SM, surrounded by a circle, stand for service mark. It has effectively the same function as its TM or trademark counterpart, but it can only be used in connection with services like intellectual property portfolio management. This symbol denotes that the service or product is unregistered and is by far the least encountered of all the major symbols. You must always be careful to use the symbol appropriate to the intellectual property and jurisdiction. Otherwise, you could risk undermining your legal protections or even face charges of misrepresentation, false advertising, or fraud. You might be wondering, why is the registered trademark symbol so important? The simplest answer to this question is that acquiring and signaling registration for your trademark confers the strongest protection. Though a registered trademark is not immune from infringement, your chances of receiving legal remedy are greatly increased by having this status of protection. Not only that, bad actors can be discouraged from committing wrongful acts by the likelihood of effective lawsuits taken against them. If someone reproduces, copies, or closely imitates a registered trademark and deploys it in a commercial context for similar goods and services, they are setting themselves up for litigation that may lead to stiff penalties and reputational damage. If your business or hobby involves creative work like writing, taking pictures, creating art, music, video, or even architecture, then copyright protection might be something that applies to you. If you are the copyright owner of a copyrighted work, then you may have wondered about using the copyright symbol. Copyright is a form of intellectual property that protects original works of authorship. In today's global digital economy, artists, authors, and companies have unprecedented opportunities to disseminate their creative works and products to a worldwide audience. They also face daunting challenges from infringement and piracy. To take advantage of these opportunities and to respond to the challenges, creators and creative industries depend more than ever on their ability to protect and enforce their copyrights. In order to understand the importance of copyright and how to protect it, it is important to examine the basics of copyright law, what it is, what it protects, and how to secure it. The primary purpose behind copyright law is to foster the creation and dissemination of works for the benefit of the public. By granting authors the exclusive right to authorize certain uses of their works, copyright provides economic incentives to create new works and to make them available in the marketplace.